So we're continuing go to the beginning of Daf Yud. I might need to, Mom. How much I have to disconnect my microphone when I go to the blackboard?
You gotta get him
wireless, Rabbi.
Wireless.
With DGL.
Speak to DGL people. I don't know. They on this sleep on the what's it called? Okay. Daf Yud. So the Gemara said we're discussing Rabbeinu HaKadosh had a conversation with Levi, or better yet, Levi had a conversation with Rabbeinu HaKadosh. Levi told Rabbeinu HaKadosh, how come you don't have in the Mishnah 16 cases? You don't have Imo. Let Imo be the Irva. Rabbi made a comment. Kimdumeli, I think she'imo moach v'kol kodo. He doesn't have a brain in his head. So the question is, what was so bad about what Levi said? What was so bad about it? So the Gemara says, no, because the Mishnah is not talking beplukta lo kamairi. We're not talking about mahloket cases. Why? Because Imo has to be the only way to get his mother marrying his brother. It's asur to marry a father's wife, even if it's not your mother. So the only way it could be mutar is if it to be anusat aviv, that the father wasn't married to his mother, and anusat aviv itself is mahloket Rabbi Yehuda and the Chachamim. Rabbi Yehuda holds anusat aviv is asur. So the Gemara says, yeah, it's not talking about the mahloket. Hare Rabbi Chia was mitargem all the cases in the Mishnah, in the Mishnah in Perik Revi'i. The Mishnah in Perek Shlishi, Arba Achin, right? Where it says that when 4 brothers, 2 of them marry 2 sisters, and then those 2 sisters, the 2 brothers die, and those 2 sisters fall in front of the next 2 brothers, both of them are Holtzim Lo Mityamot. Unless unless one of them is Irvan one and one is Irvan the other, so then they switch off, right? They switch. Asura lazeh muteret lazeh, asura lazeh muteret lazeh. And so, which of the arayot cases of Al Mishnah could be plugged in to make asura lazeh muteret lazeh? Rabbi was mitargem all of them, even though, and then some of the later Moraim were mitargem this one, but not that one, and that one not this one, and Rav Safra was mitargem. Seemingly like Rabbi Chia, also Eshet Achiv Shelo Haya Be'olamo, and Eshet Achiv Shelo Haya Be'olamo cannot be explained according to the Chachamim. That's it. Remember, on the top of the page we had a machloket about Eshet Achiv Shelo Haya Be'olamo. The Chachamim say Eshet Achiv Shelo Haya Be'olamo is categorically asur. Anybody that wasn't alive, any brother that wasn't alive at the time of the brother who died can't make yibum to his wife ever, even if she already made, by the time the new brother was born, she already made yibum to one of the older brothers, and now when he's born, she's already married. She's like married to the second brother. Doesn't make a difference. There was a brother who was born, who died, who you weren't alive with. Since he wasn't alive with this yabam, he wasn't alive with him. She's eshet achiv. So according to that position, there's no way you could ever have 2 brothers, which one married one eshtahif shelo yibolamo, one married the other eshtahif shelo yibolamo. They're both eshtahif shelo yibolamo. Whereas according to Rabbi Shimon, we're able to get the case of arba achim shnayim mem nesuim shtei achayot. We could get that one with eshtahif shelo yibolamo. V'aliba de Rabbi Shimon the Gemara said v'simanecha. How does it work? Met nolad v'yabem. Let's see Rashi on the bottom. Rashi says, Eshet achiv shelo haya be'olamot. It's on the bottom of Tet Amud Bet. Lo mashkach Allah, the only way to find it, Ela aliba d'Rabbi Shimon, Deshari b'yibem ul basof nolad, who allows the case of yibem, if he made yibum, ul basof nolad, and then the what's it called was born, and then the new brother was born. V'simanecha met nolad v'yibem kegon Reuven v'Shimon v'Levi v'Yehuda, 4 brothers all born. Bnei Yaakov are the sons of Yaakov. V'nis'u, and they married ונעשו ראובן ושמעון שתי אחיות. Reuven and Shimon married two sisters. Umet Reuven belo banim. When Reuven died, ונולד יששכר ליעקב. Yaakov has a son, Yisachar. Right after Reuven dies. So even according to Rabbi Shimon, Yisachar is Eshet Achiv shelo haya be'olamo to Reuven's wife. Because when he was born, she was a Yevamot that he couldn't marry because it wasn't ki yeshvuachim yachdav. They weren't living together. Umatzah liyevimto zikuka liyibum. So he found Reuven's wife. Let's call her Rachel. Right? Reuven and Rachel goes nicely together. We'll find Reuven and Rachel. He found Rachel eshtachiv shelo be'olamo. Asura lo mishum eshtachiv shelo be'olamo. V'yibema Levi. Now Levi marries Reuven's wife, Rachel. Umet. Period. So now she's married. Rachel is married to Levi. That's her yibum status. Umet Shimon acharechen. Now Shimon dies. Shimon was married to Leah. V'nolad Zevulun. So again, Zevulun is born during the gap between when Shimon dies and Levi is born. And Zevulun is born. Umatzah alav, he found Leah be'isur when he couldn't marry her. So she became eshtachiv shelo be'olamo. Whereas, and here's the okay, according to Rabbi Shimon, according to everybody, Zevulun, Yisachar is mutar in Shimon's wife, right? That's easy. Everybody could get Yisachar mutar in Shimon's wife because he was alive when Shimon was married. He was alive when Shimon was alive, right? But now, v'yibema Yehuda, and Yehuda made yibum to Leah. Umetu Levi v'Yehuda. Levi and Yehuda died. V'naflu achayot halalu. We'll call them Rachel and Leah. Lefnei Yisachar v'Zevulun. Eshet Levi, who's Reuven's original wife, Asura Yisachar. We said that. Why? Right? Mipnei sheba'u metza'a be'isur nefilat Reuven. When he was born, she was in that nefilah process. Shaya achiv shelo haya be'olamo. That's easy, but the chidush is muteret leZevulun. She's allowed to marry Zevulun. Mipnei sheba'u metza'a be'isur nefilat nisu'e Shimon.
Because there was nothing there when he was.
The Chishenolad Zevulun Kivarnet Yabmazu Levi. When Zevulun was born, she was already married to Levi. Ubiyibem ulbasof nolad. And Rabbi Shimon says if the second brother already made the yibum, and then the new brother was born, so it's like the first brother's marriage doesn't affect him. Shari Rabbi Shimon. Rabbi Shimon is going to be matir. So Zevulun could marry Rachel because when he was born, she was already married to Shimon. No, married to Levi. Ve'eshet Yehuda asura leZevulun. But the wife of Yehuda, Leah, is asura to Zevulun. Mepenei sheba'u mesa'a be'isur nefilat nisu'e Shimon. Because when he was born, she was in the process of going from Shimon to Yehuda.
Why do you give me cases that will never happen? This can never ever happen. Can never happen.
Why?
If the first brother has to born, he has to get married, he has to die, the second one comes. The second one grow up, marry, then here's another brother after he died. It's like the time period is about 40 years between the first brother and the third brother.
So?
And the same mother must be.
Who said the same mother?
Should be a different mother.
Maybe they have.
And
maybe he has.
And then he made two sisters.
מה אכפת לך?
אני שואל, כאילו, the chances.
Well, first of all, we don't care. We learn Torah.
I know. Don't get me wrong.
Second
I'm
of
not
all,
saying that. What's the
if
chances?
you're worried about a case that could happen, מה אכפת לך? Worse things have happened.
התורה מביא לך case of סורר מורה, התורה מביא לך case of different cases that never
זה יותר גרוע מסורר. גם מסורר מורה קייס, אני אומר,
there's people that you know that between the first brother and the last brother, from two wives, there's 60 years.
Wow.
60 years.
father got married the second time,
especially in the old country.
and he married a younger wife, and he has kids.
Yeah.
60 years apart. No, what that is?
In the old country,
The case
every
is
What are you so
grandfather,
worried about? Two brothers, two sisters, happy.
every grandfather, every grandmother in the old country has a sister over here and a brother with different parents.
She couldn't have kids because she finished 45. He married a younger one and started again.
Second round.
Oh, in the old country, but
It used to happen in Halab all the time, these
My
cases.
grandfather married 4.
how many second cousins we have because
My
from different
father's
grandparents?
grandfather married 4.
And Shaul's wife is one of 19 from 3 wives.
Wow.
Moshe Nahum's father-in-law is the youngest brother. She's, I think, the older sister. 19 kids, 3 wives, different countries. Different countries. Some were born in Israel, some were born here.
Maybe nowadays it sounds different, but 50 years ago,
Nowadays people got romantic, but and even today it happens.
The wife was loyal to the husband. Whatever he says, he says, okay, that's it. Gamat, no kids, don't marry now. No, she's there.
Okay, Jack, we got a lot harder things to worry about
Passed away.
if this happens.
Everybody likes the question.
Many passed away giving birth. Many died early.
Okay, next. Didn't Rabbi
Great movie
Kaduri
from that.
promise his wife when he got married that 90 children or something?
His last
Promised her,
marriage.
he was his last marriage. He promised her
She was
children.
what? She was 20 something years old. No.
Okay,
He was 90 something. She was 20 something.
so the Gemara says, Rashi says,
She took care of
will
it.
be right. Will be bem lebesov nolad shari Rabbi Yehuda, Rabbi Shimon, ve'eshet Yehuda asura lezevul sheba mazam beisur nefilat nesue Shimon achiv muter Yisachar שראה Shimon ויהודה. Yisachar he saw Shimon and he saw Yehuda. There's no ish tachiv shelo be'olamo. So that's how you have it. V'simanecha met. Reuven died. Nolad is Yisachar is born. V'yibem Levi te'eshet Reuven. Met Shimon. Nolad Zevulun. V'yibem Yehuda eshet Shimon. And then Levi and Yehuda died. Ela l'Rabbi hani klale letle. So we're saying, you see, the Mishnah has. You're saying the Mishnah is talking about met nolavi bem. The only works according to Rabbi Shimon. So you see, he's talking beplukta. He's talking about a mahloket, and you're telling me there's no mahloket. Says Gemara, hani klale letle. He doesn't believe in these rules of how to understand the Mishnah. Rashi, l'Rabbi hani letle hani klale. The Rabbi Chia. He doesn't believe that you put all the cases of Al Mishnah in the Mishnah in Arba Achim. Hilkach lo mukme matnitim beplukta. Ela ben olad ubesof yibem ledevrei hakol. He says the Mishnah is talking about nolad. The kid was the eshet achiv was born, and then yibem devrei hakol. Ela leRabbi. Hani klale Rav Ada Karchina Kame de Rav Kahana Amar. Rav Ada Karchina said in front of Rav Kahana Mishmed Rava, quoting Rava, explaining why Rabbi said, why Rabbi is not talking about a machloket. Le'olam it le Rabbi Hani klale. The Rabbi holds of this, and he's talking by machloket. Ve'hachi ka'amar le. No, he's not talking about mahloket. Imo anusat aviv behada meshkahala betarte lo ka meshkahala. Says, he's talking about mahloket. Rashi. Imo anusat aviv behada meshkahala lahachi lo nakatla b'matnitin. The reason why we didn't put it in the Mishnah, she'i ata koreba ha'asura laze muteret laze. You can't put both cases in the Mishnah. It can't be. There's 2 rules. You can have 2 Yevamot falling in front of 2 brothers. Or you could have that they're sisters and Ahota Sheyivimta. Ahota, her sister, Kishiyivimta, when she's a sister-in-law. It makes chalitza yibum, as opposed to being patur. You can get one of those 2, but you can't get both of them, right? Shiu bet ahayot, 2 sisters. No flolet yabem will fall for yibum. ותהא זו אסורה לזה משום אמו. That this one, meaning let's say Reuven's wife, will be asur to Levi because it's his mother. V'chen zu al zeh, and Yehuda's wife, and Shimon's wife will be asur on Yehuda because it's his mother. Umutarot lasheni, but they could cross marry, meaning Reuven's wife can marry Yehuda and Shimon's wife can marry Levi. That's not going to happen. Elahada mashkahala. One of those will work. Or ha'asura lazeh muteret lazeh, or there'll be ahota keshiv imta. But to be two sisters, and one is mutat to this and one is mutat to that, like we did in the other 15 cases, is not going to work. And the Gemara spells it out. What? Let's see. Imo anusat aviv behada. In one of the two rules, asura lazeh muteret lazeh, you could get it. Betarte, but to also have a hota keshiv imta, lo kameshkahala. For example, Yaakov bet ahayot anas. If Yaakov raped two sisters, right?
Rape means no marriage. They have kids with no marriage, right?
Right. It could be piteh also. We'd rather say anas because this way only one guy did an isur and she didn't do an isur, as opposed to what's it called them? They're both doing an isur, right?
Not in America.
Ahota, we're not interested in what they say in America.
You say anas rahat aleh.
Right? Rashi. Yaakov shte ahayot anas. If Yaakov raped two women, two sisters, v'yalda lo ha'ahat Levi v'ahat Yehuda. One of them gave birth to Levi, one gave birth to Yehuda. V'nasar Reuven anusat aviv imo shel Levi. Reuven married his father's anusa, the mother of Levi. V'Shimon nasa anusat aviv imo shel Yehuda. Shimon married Yehuda's mother, right? So the Gemara says, Ahota kishehi yivimta mishkahala. That her sister, who's a yivama, you find. But ha'asura lazeh muteret lazeh lo mishkahala. But you don't have asura lazeh muteret lazeh. Why? Rashi. Ahota kishehi yivimta nofel libum lifnei Levi v'Yehuda banei mishkahala. They fall for yibum. Ha'asura lazeh muteret lazeh lo mishkahala. Lefi sheshnehem asurot al shenehem. They both asur to both.
According to
Imo shel Levi asura lo mishum imo.
so according to one of the two Rabbi.
What?
Gelekin Aviv will say according to.
Wait, much easier, right? Imo shel Levi asura lo mishum imo. The ahota, Yehuda's mother, mishum ahota em. It's his mother's sister. So this case doesn't work. You're right. Asura lazeh muteret. Sorry. What's the thing? No, it's ahota kishiv imta choletzet o mityabemet. But why is choletzet o mityabemet? V'chen liYehuda v'shtehem peturot min hachalitza u'miyibum.
They don't have either one. They cannot be mitiyabem or halitza, no?
They can't have yibum or halitza.
So that's why it's not choletzet or mitiyabem. It's not either or.
Haton.
But asura lazeh lo mashkach, they're both asur. So they can't make chalitza either. I'm not sure exactly how to get past this.
If it's his ed, you can't marry him. So
That's why. No, I understand that. My question is, what does it mean? Ahota kishiv imta choletzet o mityabemet. She's not choletzet. She's not mityabemet.
For the Yibum,
She's petura legamre.
Yeah, of course, because if there's no connection, then how could you?
Understood. So what are you telling me? Ahota keshiyivimta choletzet o mityabemet. Over here she's not. Ahota, her sister, keshiyivimta, when she's a sister-in-law too. Choletzet o mityabemet.
The other one on the page before that, you can't do chalitza. Since you can't do chalitza, you can't do yibum. And
Yes,
the opposite,
that's what's happening over here.
Okay, so then we know.
You only have a hota keshiyivimta. You don't have choletzet o mityabemet. Okay. Says the Gemara. So again, Yaakov bet ahayot anas ahota keshiyivimta mishkahala. Ha'asura laze muter laze lo mishkahala. You could have a case of ahota keshiyivimta, but she's not asura laze muter laze. V'i bet nochriot anas, and if he raped two strangers, they're not sisters, right? Rahela are not sisters. Ha'asura laze muter laze mishkahala. In achinami. Yehuda could marry Yehuda could marry Levi's mother, and Levi can marry Yehuda's mother. But ahota shehi yivimta lo mishkahala, but she's not her sister, who's her sister-in-law. They're sister-in-laws, but they're not sisters. Rashi. V'ishte nochriot anas, but if he raped two strangers, v'yaldu lo bet banim, and they had two sons, v'nisaum, and they married them bet banim, mi'isha acheret, and Reuven and Shimon, who are two sons from another lady, married them, v'naflu lefnei b'neim, and now they fell to Levi and Yehuda. Ha'asura lazeh muteret lazeh mishkahala. Each guy can marry the other one's mother. Avalava hayot nenu. They're not sisters. V'ikam milta de Rabbi Chia mishum yibum shtei achayot nakar. Rabbi Chia is trying to fit in two mothers who are two ervot who are sisters, and you can't fit that with mothers because the fact that they're sisters makes him asur to the other one because of the mother's sister, right? Okay, so that's what Rav Ada Korchina said. He said, yeah, the reason why we don't put the mother because it doesn't fit into the case. You can't get a chota keshiyivimta. Rav Ashi Amar le'olam let Rabbi Hani Klali. Rabbi doesn't believe in these rules, like Rabbi Chia, that you have to fit the whole Mishnah in over there. Ubeplukta kamairi, and he is talking about a mahloket. Umay, so how come he said about Levi, Kim domeh ani she'en lo moach bekod kodo, that he doesn't have a brain. Let's see Rashi. Rav Ashi Amar le'olam let Rabbi Hani Klalo. Plukta kamari. Klomar lo teima. Tahad lo tani imo anusat avim bishum dolo mashka had ba Hani Klali. Nah, the Rabbi let Hani Klali. He doesn't care about them. V'lo teima lahachi shafke. He left it. The lo mighty beplukta. He's not talking about machloket. The beplukta vaday kama. He is talking machloket. Umay en lo moach de kamarle. So how come he said Levi has no brains? Hachi kamarle. This is what he meant. My ta'ama lo daikat matnitin. How come you weren't medayek the way the Mishnah is talking? The matnitin Rabbi Yudahi. Our Mishnah for sure is Rabbi Yudah. The asar be'anusat aviv, who says that the father's rapee is asura. The katani, like it says, shesh arayot. The next Mishnah is shesh arayot hamurot me'elu. Right? We had 15 arayot that the tzara is asura. The next Mishnah says I got 6 arayot that are more hamur, but the tzara is not asura because you're not going to have it. You're not going to have it by marrying the brother. And the only time the tzara becomes asura is b'mkom mitzvah, when they marry the brother and they have a yibum. Right? Who are they? Right? But because they married other people, not the brother, tzarotehen mutarot. Their co-wives, the co-wife of the erva is mutar. Imo, his mother, ve'eshet aviv, and his father's wife, ve'achot aviv, and the father's sister. Right? So none of those can marry any of his paternal brothers who are the ones that are going to make him Hayav in Yibum. His father's wife cannot marry any of the father's children. The father's sister cannot marry any of the father's children. His mother can't marry any of the father's sisters. Who's his mother and who's his father's wife? Who's his mother and who's his father's wife? Watch. My imo. What does it mean when that Mishnah says his mother? What was it talking about? Ilema nisuat aviv. Is his mother married to his father? I know Eshet aviv. So the two cases are the same. Elalav. His mother wasn't married. Is anusat aviv. Okay. So 1 second. If his mother wasn't married, why are you saying that his mother can't marry any of his brothers? Who holds that an anusa can't marry any of the brothers? Rabbi Yehuda. So that Mishnah is clearly Rabbi Yehuda. So if the second Mishnah is Rabbi Yehuda, the first Mishnah is Rabbi Yehuda. That's why you can't say imo, because she's in the second Mishnah. Right? That's why he says Kim Dumeh Anisha Enomoch Bekot Kodo. Do you know how to read the Mishnah? You Levi, don't you know how to read the Mishnah? Don't you understand it's all one continuation? Shesh Arayot Hamurod Me'elu. It might be Mishnah Bet, but it's a continuation of the Mishnah, and it goes like Rabbi Yehuda. So the whole, even though it's not Mishnah Rabbi Meir, this Mishnah is Rabbi Yehuda. Right? Elalav anusat aviv vekatani mipnei shehem nisuot la'achirim, because they have to marry others. La'achirim in la'achin lo, they can't marry the brothers. Man shamit le. Who did you hear? The itlehai sevara that believes that anusat aviv can't marry any of the brothers. Rabbi Yehuda. It's Rabbi Yehuda. The asar mishum be'anusat aviv, who says that the father's rape is asura mishum hachi lo tani le. That's why imo is not in the Mishnah of the Potro, because it's Rabbi Yehuda and he also has to marry the brothers. Let's see Rashi. The asar be'anusat aviv v'lo mashka halash etipol em lefnei bena. According to Rabbi Yehuda, no mother could ever be married and fall to a son. Libu me'achim aviv. Says the Gemara, Amar le Ravina le Rav Ashi. Why not? Le Rabbi Yehuda nami mishka hala. You could have a case. You could have a case according to Rabbi Yehuda where the mother falls to her son, even though she's asura on all the brothers. De'i avar v'nasiv. If he married her. Why? Aha. So now, when do you say that if a person tries to make an illegal marriage, the marriage is null? And when do you say that if a person makes an illegal marriage, he's married but it's asur? What's the dividing line? What type of isur nullifies the marriage? The marriage is not there. And what type of isur the marriage is there? Let's say a kohen marries a gerusha.
Work.
Does he need a get? He does. Let's say Yisrael marries a mamzeret. Does she need a get? Yes. Let's say somebody marries his sister.
No.
Does he need a get?
Hold even. No marriage.
Who told you? What's different between somebody marrying his sister? It's asur to marry a gerusha for a kohen, right? It's asur for Yisrael to marry a mamzer. Which pasuk?
This is Gilu Arayot.
There's a chumash. Show it to me.
That's Gilu Arayot.
What?
It's Gilu Arayot. That's one. Over there, there's no Gilu Arayot with the kohen and with the sister and brother. Gilu Arayot.
Oh, okay. So Jack says the rule is Gilui Arayot. In some mystical place, it says Gilui Arayot. We say that the dividing line is karet. Any time that's chayav karet, it doesn't hold. If it's not hayav karet, it holds. Now, in what's it called? Rabbi Akiva argues. He holds even chayve lavin. The kiddushin is not tofes. Right now,
Goya, there's no.
Goya is not. Kiddushin doesn't tofes, even though it's lav is a different reason. So the Rabbi.
So he's saying, don't say that's the pshat.
So now, the isur of marrying your father's sister, right? That's mentioned in Parashat Kedushim. And it says, no, one second, father, sister, or Echot Isha, or Eshet Ahiv, all those are Hayav Karet. It says, he called, right? V'nechritu. Call Asim v'nechritu. All of them have Karet. Lo Yigale Kenaf Aviv is where? It's somewhere in Devarim. It doesn't say Karet over there. So Rabbi Yehuda, who understands that Anusat Aviv is Asur, admits that there's no Karet. If there's no Karet, Kiddushin is Tofes. So you could have, there's a difference between Eshet Aviv, one second, and Imo, exactly. Eshet Ahiv cannot marry the brother. Cannot, because even if the brother goes in front of two rabbis and witnesses and everything is nothing happened. Nothing happened. Whereas Imo Anusat Aviv, I might not be allowed to do it according to the Yehuda.
Oh, Anusat Aviv.
This guy's mother, who's Anusat Aviv to the other one, right? Kiddushin will be Tofes. Right? So if Reuven marries Anusat Aviv, who's Levi's mother, the Kiddushin goes through.
Okay.
So that's what Ravina told Rav Ashi. Let Rabbi Yehuda nami mashkahala. Di'i avar v'nasif. Rashi. Di'i avar v'nasif et Anusat Aviv v'nafla. Right. So sumi. So sumi.
Yeah.
Di'i. Right. Lefnei benav. Right. So Reuven married Anusat Aviv.
And he died.
And she's married to him. And he died. Now Levi's mother is in front of him for Yibum. What's the problem?
They can't Yibum. You said.
Okay, so put it in the Mishnah.
No, because
put it in the Mishnah.
That's Tofes, like we said.
Who?
The Yibum.
What are you talking about? When Reuven married Anusat Aviv.
Right, and he died.
1 second. Did the Kiddushin hold?
You say yes.
Very good. And now when he dies and it's only Levi who's her son,
right.
There's no Yibum, just like if it was Levi's daughter, just like it's Levi's mother.
Yibum again, we know because of his mother.
Very good, just like if it's his daughter.
Right.
So put it in the Mishnah.
You need to put it in the Mishnah?
Why not?
It's not,
says the Gemara. Says the Gemara. Di'i lo katani. Our Mishnah is talking when the guy married her legally, not di'i. Di'i means di'i avar v'nasif.
We give him an option to do it. Then.
We're not that we're giving him an option. We're talking about cases that work lechatchila, not b'di'avad.
But still.
Jack thinks all these cases are crazy, but they're all legal, Jack. Yeah. This case is illegal. We're not talking illegal cases. Di'i lo katani. Amar le, the halabiyah, how many times the uncle marries the cousins, the aunt, the two brothers. Everybody is like, it's intermarried like crazy.
My uncle married his cousin, and his kid married his cousin also.
Right. You cannot keep track of their families without a computer. Let's go.
My wife doesn't know who's.
I thought it's his uncle. It's his uncle and his brother and his cousin and his.
My mother has 9 brothers and sisters. My father has 10 brothers and sisters. And imagine.
Forget it. Right?
Keeping it in the family.
No, there was nobody else to marry. What are you looking all over? Just find one of your cousins or something, and that's it. That's all. Why are you looking so far?
Move to Arkansas.
Right, when we were kids, my grandma already planned. You marry this cousin. My father, she already planned whose cousin married whose cousin. And she wants everybody to say the time.
She likes them all. You know, this is why I like them all. So he says, Di'i lo katani. Amalei Ravashi l'Rvkana. Below di'i nami mashkahala. I'll give you a case where Reuven's marriage is not illegal. I'll give you a case that Reuven's marriage is not illegal. And it's the mother. How? Yaakov anas kalato. Yaakov raped his daughter-in-law. So Reuven is married. Okay. First, maybe yes, maybe no.
If she was not married?
If she was divorced in between. Alright? Yaakov anas kalat. Well, let's make him a mamzer for good measure, right? Yaakov anas kalato. So Reuven is married to Rachel. Yaakov raped Rachel. And they had Shimon. Right? So Shimon's mother is his brother's wife.
Can't do anything like this.
The board.
This is a board one.
Rabbi, but there's no mamzer in honest, no, Rabbi, we said?
Of course it's mamzer.
No, in honest. If somebody rapes someone,
There's a mamzer.
it's mamzer anyway?
Of course it's a mamzer.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Now, make your own rules up there. So now, Yaakov,
Maybe that's not pleasing.
married to Leah.
That you probably could do because Yevamot is good.
He has Reuven. Reuven marries Rachel. Now Yaakov rapes Rachel, and they have Shimon. Right? So Shimon, at the same time, is Reuven's brother from Yaakov, right? And he's Rachel's sister. No, she's not Rachel's sister.
Her sister,
He's
yeah.
no, he's not Rachel's sister.
Her sister-in-law.
It's his sister. Very good. Now, Reuven dies, right?
Is a Hayav.
So Rachel falls to his brother from his father,
To Shimon.
Shimon,
She's her son.
who's her son.
Wow.
So Reuven's marriage to Rachel is legal. Who's illegal?
This kid.
Shimon. Shimon is a mamzer no matter what. Shimon is a mamzer no matter what.
Oh, it's not mamzer if
No matter
it
what.
happened before.
No matter what.
Before he married, before he married.
Then he married Anusat Aviv.
Yeah. If you rape Rachel, yeah. You rape Rachel.
He's Anusat Aviv.
She has a son and her, yeah.
Now.
They make a movie out of it.
והוליד ממנה בן, ומת ראובן בלא בנים, ונפלה לה כמברה, she falls to her son. ומגוד היא אסירה, because Rachel, who's American? Rachel is asur, צרתה נמי אסירה, Bilhah, the other wife is also asur. אמר לי, he told him, באחוותה דהתרה כמרי, באחוותה דאיסורה לא כמרי. I'm talking about brothers that are not mamzerim, that came out beheter, not brothers that came out when he raped the daughter-in-law. Legitimate. Right. Fine. Says the Gemara, ve'af al piken, even though Rabbi told Levi, I don't think you have brains, right? So he told him.
You can lose your brain.
Rashi, ve'af al pi demehadar le Rabbi leLevi kim dumei ani she'eno moch bekodkodo bad ka Levi bematnitin dideh bematniteh. Levi appended this case into his Mishnah, the mother case. Rashi, bad ka Levi bematniteh hegiha ve'hosifa le'imo anusat avi b'mishnato. The Tani Levi had a braita. Imo, his mother, pe'amim poteret tzarata, pe'amim ena poteret tzarata. Sometimes the mother is poter the co-wife, sometimes she's not. Keitzad, haita imo nisuat aviv. If his mother was married to his father, v'niset le'ehav, and then she married his brother. Now, does that marriage hold? Does that marriage hold?
Whose brother? Her husband's brother?
Let's see.
Who's Ahab?
אחיו או אחד?
Yeah, let's put him.
יצא לאחיו מאביו?
It is.
More than a suat,
Yaakov. This is great. You got your show and tell. We don't get show and tell. Yaakov is married to Rachel. And Rachel has Reuven. Leah has Shimon. Yaakov dies. Rachel marries Shimon. Right?
Nusat Aviv, according to...
No, she's married.
She just got married to him.
Can Rachel, when Shimon gives Kedusha to Rachel, does it work? Yeah. No. Why? Because she's Eshet Aviv.
Even worse.
So now, Shimon married Rachel. Shimon is also married to Bilhah. Yeah?
Okay.
When Shimon dies, Reuven has to make Yibum to Bilhah. Why? Because he was never married to Rachel. Because when he made Kiddushin to Rachel, nothing happened.
It's not in or something.
It was Eshet Aviv. Whereas, Yaakov, if it says the next case is, הייתה אימו נשואת אביו ונישאת לאחיו מאביו ומת זוהי אימו שאין פותרת צרתה. Why? Because it wasn't a marriage. הייתה אימו אנוסת אביו. If Rachel wasn't married to Yaakov, she was Anusat Aviv. Then she married Shimon. The marriage goes through. So now, when Shimon dies, Rachel is Erva and she's Poter Bilha. Then that's the second case. Haita imo Anusat Aviv v'niset le'achiv me'aviv umet zuhi imo. That's the mother shepoteret tzarata. Who is Poter? The sister-in-law. Ve'af al pi sheshanu hachamim b'mishnatenu 15. Even though in the Mishnah the rabbis told us 15, yesh lanu lo'osif 16 kegon zu. We could put a 16th like this.
This one, this case.
This case. Rashi, Haita imo anusat aviv v'nised la'achiv me'aviv kedushin tovsim ba. Va'afilu l'Rabbi Yehuda kedushin tovsim b'chai ve'lavin. Uchshemet nimtzet tzarata tzarat erva petura. But look in the Rashi before. Haita aviv nisu'a, Haita imo an nisuat aviv v'nised la'achiv me'aviv umet lo tavsi kedushin ba. Share eshet av, the father's wife, bekaret. Ve'amrina lekamam, we're going to say later, en kedushin tofsim b'chai too. That kedushin is not tofes if there's karet. Divrei hakol, according to everybody. Hilkach keshemet rasha zeh. When this rasha who made kedushin to his father's ex-wife died, lo nafla zuli yibum lifnei benav. The love eshet ahavai. Ve'ena poteret tzarata.
What is Bilah to Rachel?
Let me ask you something. Let's say Yaakov divorces Rachel.
Yeah.
Can Shimon marry her?
No, that's eshet aviv.
Even though
All of the arayot that we have, divorce doesn't help them. Meaning, a guy's daughter-in-law, when the son divorces her, the father can't marry her. The wife's sister, when he divorces his wife, he can't marry her sister. In none of the cases, the only case that changes, there's two cases that change with death. A brother's wife if there's no children, and a wife's sister even if there are children. Everything else never changes. The father's sister doesn't make difference if the father's alive or dead.
Oh, you're talking to the kids that Rachel marry Shimon. Let's say Rachel and Shimon, they're not married. He's a...
What's the difference? So then what's she going to help? She's not falling for your boom.
No, but if
She's
Shimon
not
died, what
making-
happened?
What's the difference? If Shimon,
We said if Shimon married Rachel...
Shimon was honest Rachel.
No,
So
see,
what?
if she married Rachel, we said Reuven cannot do anything with Shimon. He cannot do it with Bilhah because they're married, because his mother.
Good.
But if he honest Rachel,
What does that have to do
they
with
never
it?
married, so
Good. So she's not part of the boom either. She's not married.
so he can go to the Bilhah, Reuven? That's
Yeah.
the question.
Why not?
What do you mean why not?
Because Shimon was honest Rachel.
Let you have kids, let's say from them.
So what? If he has kids,
Yeah.
then there's no
Then
evil.
Oh, there's no evil. Wait, sorry.
Okay. Thank you. Goodbye. Next. Says the Gemara. Amar le Resh Lakish le Rabbi Yochanan. New topic. Le Levi. According to Levi, the Amar De'i Nami Katani. Levi is clearly dealing with De'is, meaning the guy did an Isur. I got another case. Litni HaCholetz Livimto V'Chazar V'Kidsha Umet B'lo Banim.
Not more than that. That's it.
Now, the Gemara is going to say a mahloket like this. Let's say a guy makes chalitza to the Yevamot, right?
They marries her like a regular.
And then he marries her.
After Halitza, he can marry?
What?
You can do that after Halitza, she's Asura on him.
Maybe I can learn.
So Levi holds. Let's see Rashi. The Levi the Amar the Inami Katani the Hamadniti Rav Yehuda Ubadik la Levi imo anusat aviel v'Hazar v'Kitcha v'Kiddushin tov simba. Kiddushin is tofes in a halutza. Why? Now, in theory, it shouldn't. You should say, Hare she's eshet achiv, and the Torah was only matir her for yibum. Now that you made chalitza, she goes back to being eshet achiv. You should say this karet. Kiddushin shouldn't be tofes. So Rashi says, the ena alav ela belav dechtiv asher lo yivneh bet achiv kivan shelo bana shul v'lo yivneh. We don't say that when you make chalitza that the isur eshetach comes back. Once the Torah took off the isur eshetach, gave the brother the opportunity to make yibum. So the only isur that comes up of asher lo yivneh, when he made chalitza, asher lo, he will not build anymore. It's a lav. You won't build, you don't build again. Good. But that's a lav. The isur eshetach went off. And now you got a new lav of Asher lo yivneh.
Well, that's what Dovsim.
But now, like this.
We need wireless microphone.
Wireless mic, you know, okay. Let's see. Yaakov, erase that. It's Rachel. They have Reuven and Shimon and Levi. Right, Levi. Now, Reuven was married to Rachel.
Ah, I don't know
To Leah. Without Hasid.
Yeah, no, mistake. That's why.
Married to Leah, I know. Married to Leah, right? Reuven died. Leah made Chalitza on Shimon, right? And then Shimon married her,
Somebody made a shidduch.
right? He decided, you know something, she wasn't so bad. He married her. Now, everybody agrees he can marry her because the Isur over here is Asher lo yivneh. What's the Isur of Leah to Levi?
Sister-in-law.
Eshtahiv. So Resh Lakish holds only Shimon who made Chalitza gets the Isur of Asher lo yivneh. But Levi, who didn't make na Chalitza na Yibum, he's back to Eshet Ahiv. So it's Kareh. So now, if Shimon marries Leah, the Eshet Achiv, the Chalitza gave Levi an Isur of Eshet Achiv. That's never going to go away. If he would have made Yibum right away, so then we say that Shimon dies, Levi can marry her. But because he made Chalitza, he made a permanent, he made for Levi the Chalitza, makes on Levi Eshet Ach.
So Shimon died, he cannot do anything.
But wasn't he actually asked before also?
Yeah, but when the
forever.
when the Yibum was there, he could have married her. Now the Chalitza, if Shimon did the Chalitza, if Shimon did the Yibum, and Shimon died, Levi could have married her. But because he made a Chalitza and then married her, the Chalitza made permanent the Isur Eshet Ach. Now when Shimon dies, Leah is Eshet Ach. So she's Kareh. And therefore Shimon's other wife, Bilha, is also Petura. She's Sarat Erva. So Rabbi Yochanan told him, he says, you're right. But Yehuda, right? In our Mishnah, we have a case. Let's say Leah wasn't Eshet Ach. Let's say Leah was Reuven's daughter-in-law. No, sorry. Let's say Leah was Shimon's daughter-in-law, but because before she married Reuven, she was married to Shimon's son, right? So then Leah is Petura, right? She's Oseret. Leah and Reuven's other wife is Patur here, right? The Tzara. Let's say Reuven is also married to Zilpah. Right? And so the tzara of Reuven can't marry Shimon because Leah's daughter-in-law Zilpah can't go to Shimon. So Zilpah marries Levi. Right? Levi is also married to Tamar. Right? So because Zilpah is a tzarat Irva, right? Then when Zilpah marries Levi and Levi dies, Tamar can marry Shimon. That's tzarata of the original Irva. That's if Leah was a daughter-in-law of Shimon. But because Leah is not, because Leah, according to Levi, is a halutza, so she's eshet ach, not only on Levi, she's eshet ach on Yehuda. Right?
Yeah, because of Reuben.
So Leah, according to Resh Lakish, Leah cannot marry not Levi and not Yehuda. So you're never going to have a tzarata.
Even Yehuda came after they get married?
No, doesn't make a difference. She's eshet ach. Can never marry any of them.
By Shimon and Levi, if
No,
Shimon doesn't want to do
Rabbi.
it, Levi have a choice
Shimon
to do it.
Shimon is the problem.
If he
No, but before we get to
Yes,
Halitza,
yes.
Levi has a choice.
Yes.
Why the Halitza is also...
Okay, it's coming. Wait,
If you would have born after they married.
doesn't make a difference.
Why?
Doesn't make a difference.
With Ruth and the
What happened that day? It wasn't
We hold
there.
that's eshet achiv shelo be'olamo, even worse. Next, so the Gemara says Amar lei again. Amar lei Resh Lakish le Rabbi Yohanan.
He died after. When he was in Olamo.
It's not.
He born after they make the marriage.
That's going to be Shimon. We're not going to Rabbi Yehuda. Amar lei Resh Lakish le Rabbi Yohanan le Levi. According to Levi, the Amar de Inami Katani. We're also quoting Iz, right? The Amar de Ilok Nami Katani. Litni hacholetz levimto. Shimon made chalitza to Reuven's wife. The Hazar v'kitcha, and then he married her. So we said at that point she became eshet ach to the other brothers. Umet bilo banim, and then Shimon died without children. The migo the ihi asura, because Rachel is asura to Levi because of eshet ach. Tzarata Zilpah is also asura to Levi because it's tzarat erva. Because Levi holds that the eshet ach, that when Shimon made chalitza, it made Rachel an eshet ach bekaret on Levi and Yehuda. Amar Leis, or Rabbi Yochanan told him, lefi she'ena betzarat tzara, because since Shimon's chalitza made Rachel eshet ach on all the brothers, none of the brothers can marry not Rachel and not the tzara. So therefore, it doesn't fit in the Mishnah. Our Mishnah is cases where you could go to tzarata and tzarata. Over here, you can never get to tzarata. Now the Gemara says, "Volei malei chayve lavin hi v'chayve lavin b'nei halitza v'yibum ninhu." Hare, you Rabbi Yochanan, you argue on Levi, and you say what Jimmy was angling to say, that when Shimon made chalitza to Rachel, she doesn't make her an eshet ach bekaret. All the brothers have the same love of Asher lo yivnei et bet achiv, and therefore chayve lavin there is what's it called. Chayve lavin is not strong enough to be poter from yibum.
For Levi,
for Yehuda, for anything, right? Says Gemara l'dvarav ka'amar le. Rabbi Yochanan said, "I'm answering you according to you. Lididi, according to me, chayve lavin ninu. Rachel is chayve lavin on the rest of the brothers. V'chayve lavim b'nei halitza v'yibum ninu. Chayve lavim have yibum, have halitza. Ela l'didach. But even according to you, Resh Lakish, that you hold that Rachel is chayve krisus on the rest of them, chayve kritut ninu. But even so, lefi she'enam b'tzarat tzara, because you can't get to the second one because she's equally asur on all the brothers. She's not a personal erva on Levi. She like his daughter-in-law or something. She's a generally sur on all the brothers. Itmar we learned. Hacholetz livimto v'hazar v'kitsha. Somebody makes chalitza and then he marries her. Amar Resh Lakish. Resh Lakish says, who the guy that made the chalitza and hayav ala halutza karet. He's not hayav karet. Like we said, she was muteret to him. He made chalitza. His isur is you didn't build it. You didn't build your brother's house. Never build it. Asher lo yivneh. V'ha'achin hayavin ala halutza karet. But the rest of the brothers, Levi and Yehuda, she goes back to being for them Eshet Achiv. And they chayav karet.
But if Shimon died, why does he come back again to?
Because she's Eshet Achiv and there's no heter.
Forever?
The Eshet Achiv of Reuven went back permanently.
So Reuven, that's
The
blood.
chalitza made it
But
permanent.
anyway, you have Eshet Achiv when Reuven was married to.
Yeah, but now you
The
have
difference is the
heter for
chalitza fixed it. A yibum leaves it flexible. The chalitza makes it permanent.
From day one, all the brothers asurim on this woman.
Correct.
Only when he died, they have him in
They have chiyuv of yibum. Now that
So why would they do the same thing on Shimon? When he died, there's the same chiyuv coming back at them.
Because there's an erva here.
Which was
is-
never before also with Reuven.
She's chalutzana. She's not
the mitzvah yibum took it off. But this brother made a chalitza. So Resh Lakish holds that a chalitza makes.
The chalitzah's for Reuven, not for Shimon.
Yeah, Eshet Ach.
Very
That's
good.
what brings it to
But
Eshet Ach.
it permanentizes the Isur Eshet Ach. That it can't come off anymore. It makes it permanent. Because he's not allowed to marry her. So really she's out of this family. Now the fact that he married her, he can marry her, but she's Eshet Ach Shelo Ben Mitzvah. Masha'inka, when you make Yibum in the first place, you never permanentize it because he was allowed to marry her. So he kept the Eshet Ach off. You see the difference?
Reuven is also once.
Watch. When Reuven died, Shimon made Yibum, so the Isur Eshet Ach left.
For all
Right? The Torah, when Reuven dies, the Torah takes off the Isur Eshet Ach.
Nachon.
When Shimon married her, he kept the Isur Eshet Ach off. What's the proof? He's married to his brother's wife. Al Korchach, the Isur is still suspended. Right? Whereas when Shimon made Chalitza, so
The rest of them can do that.
the rest of them, the Isur Eshet Ach comes back. So she's out of the family. Him marrying her again, not taking the Isur. Reuven's Eshet Ach is now permanent because she wasn't allowed to come back in.
Reuven makes it Eshet Ach.
Reuven made Shimon put it back when he made the
Reuven,
Chalitza.
he's the Ach.
That's what.
And if you marry another one,
Jack.
still they're not gonna do it. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
If you add another woman, tzarata.
She's Sarat Erva. Very good. Says the Gemara, Rabbi Yochanan Amar. Right. So I'm gonna say, En Chay.
No, sorry.
הוא אין חייב על החלוצה כרת, והאחים חייבים על החלוצה כרת. על הצרה, meaning, let's say that Reuven also Zilpah, right? Reuven is married to Zilpah too. על הצרה, בין הוא בין האחים, חייבים על הצרה כרת. Because when he made chalitza to Rachel, to Leah, everything else, anybody that didn't get the chalitza gets the isur of Eshet Ach. It comes right back on.
You say Reuven married.
When Shimon made chalitza to Leah, Zilpah becomes Eshet Achiv even to Shimon. Whereas Leah is Eshet Achiv to Levi and Yehuda, but to Shimon it's Asher Lo Yivneh. Good. Now, Rabbi Yochanan Amar, Ben Hu, Ben Ha'achim, whether Reuven, whether Shimon, Ben Ha'achim, or the brothers Levi and Yehuda, Enam Hayavim, they're not Hayav, Lo ala halutza karet, V'lo ala tzara karet. There's no karet at all. My ta'amad Resh Lakish, Amar Kra, Asher lo yivneh, Kivan shelo yivneh, Shuv lo yivneh. Asher lo yivneh, not asher lo bana, asher lo yivneh. Kivan shelo bana, Shuv lo yivneh. That's the lav. Ihu hu dikai belo yivneh. He who didn't build it, he made the halitza, he gets the isur of lo yivneh. Aval echav, kedekai mikaymi. The isur eshet ach is there for them.
Even if he marries the later.
Ve'ala dida, hu dikai belo yivneh. Leah, who he made halitza to, since he didn't build her, he can have a builder, there's a lav. Hatzara, but Zilpah, kedekai mikaymi. She stays with eshet ach. Rabbi Yochanan, he says, one second, mi'ika midi, how could it be? The mi'ikara, ibai hai halitz v'ibai hai halitz. Right? Shimon wasn't the only one that could make halitza. Levi could have made halitza. Yehuda could have made halitza.
Why didn't they?
He jumped the gun. Right? V'ibai lahai halitz, v'ibai lahai halitz. And I could have made halitza to Leah to Zilpah. Right? V'hashta kai ala bekaret. Once the Torah took off the Isur Eshet Ach, it doesn't come back. Ella. So where does Isur come from? Ihu Shimon, when he makes chalitza, shlichuta da'achim ka'avid. He's doing it for the whole family. So all the brothers are asher lo yivneh.
Everybody had to do the halitza.
Everyone could have done it.
Only one until now.
So when he does it, he's like he's doing it b'shlichut. So he's not the only one that was asher lo yivneh. They were all asher lo yivneh, right? Ve'ihi and Leah shlichuta de tzara ka'avda. She's doing the halitza for all the wives. So she's doing it